I wanted to make this video because for the past 2.5 years of my girlfriend and I dating, we never got to experience the wonderful world of anime together. And it wasn't because we didn't try, but rather we couldn't find something that she genuinely enjoyed. We explored different shows and experimented with all kinds of genres, but the more we tried, the more I started to lose hope. Eventually I came to the realization that if I kept pushing her to watch anime, she would eventually become resentful of the medium entirely. And for some reason, not being able to witness her truly enjoy anime hit me on an incredibly personal level. Anime has always been there for me through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, and just like most of you guys, I consider anime to be a part of who I am. So the lack of appreciation she expressed towards the medium really made me question my own self-worth, because if she thinks this poorly of this medium, what does that mean about me? And even though that wasn't the case, I didn't get insulted, nor did I give up on trying to make her an anime fan. I actually became more determined. I knew if we could find the right show, we could get her on the track to otaku stardom. This is the story of how I got my overly picky, judgmental, and very opinionated girlfriend into becoming an anime fan. Also, I will be doing a giveaway, so stick around to the end of the video. Before I jump in, let me give you guys some context. It was fairly easy to get my girlfriend to watch anime, but almost impossible for her to stay engaged or genuinely enjoy what she was watching. Initially, my goal was to find a show that she would actually enjoy, but with all my previous attempts, I knew I had to do something different. So I decided I needed to work backwards. I started to pay attention to what she didn't want to watch instead. I decided to visit every anime streaming service and give her the rundown on all the shows that I've watched. With the pressure of trying to find a show out of the picture, I strictly focused on gathering information, and with the addition of her failed past experiences, I compiled a list of shows that she wouldn't be into. She won't do anything with blood or gore. I tried to watch Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan with her, but we never got past the first episode. She's also not into overly depressing shows that focus on hardship or struggle, although she is okay with some more lighthearted dramas like A Silent Voice and Your Name, but forget trying to watch a show like 86 with her. Speaking of 86, shows with deep and complex storytelling have no place in her heart. They lose her interest faster than reading the first volume of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which is a great segue to tell you guys more about the giveaway that I'm doing. I'll be giving away the first 3 volumes of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun to one lucky viewer. Just stick around to the end of the video to find out how to enter. Now back to the video. Another way to lose my girlfriend's scarce attention span are shows with slow starts or lengthy exposition. Shows like One Piece and Evangelion never ended well, which is understandable because shows like these take a more hardcore, dedicated, and seasoned vet to experience. Like when I first tried to watch One Piece, I dropped it on like 3 separate occasions before I was able to give it a proper watch through, and it took me like 30 episodes to really start liking the show. But the number one anime turnoff for her was fan service. My girlfriend already hates the over-sexualization of women in general, so trying to justify or explain the concept of why these anime characters have overly large and voluptuous breasts was nothing but impossible. So with all my information, I went back to work, but I failed once again. I just couldn't find a show she was interested in. How does one go from being a non-anime fan to an anime fan? What I learned was that the preconceived notions that people have about the medium can be a big decider on whether that person will even consider watching anime. And because anime is often weird and eccentric, those preconceived connotations are somewhat validated and typically are too off-putting or tough to accept that people would rather avoid it altogether. At a fundamental level, this usually boils down to being closed-minded, and I mean this strictly in regards to anime. So with this realization, I had to change my goal. I had to make my girlfriend more open-minded. Luckily, the beautiful thing about anime is that it can shatter this type of disposition, because to be an anime fan, you have to be as open-minded as possible. So in a way, the answer is within the problem. And I can attest to this because early in my anime watching days, I only watched Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Bleach, and I never steered away from the battle shonen genre. And at that time, I didn't really consider myself to be an anime fan. I was more of a battle shonen fan than anything else. If people were to ask me back then if I was an anime fan, I would probably respond with, I'm more of a Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, or Bleach fan rather than an anime fan. For some reason, these were considered their own things back then, and I guess to some degree now as well. But as I became more curious, I explored other genres, but it wasn't until I watched One Piece that I truly became an anime fan in my eyes. I knew that One Piece was regarded as one of the greatest anime/mangas of all time, but I didn't know why. I thought it looked stupid and over the top, and it was terribly difficult to get into it early on. But I did my best to push through because I thought the payoff would be worth it at the end. So I put my biases aside and took a chance on One Piece. And not only only did I get blessed with the greatness that is One Piece, but I also learned that to fully enjoy anime and all it has to offer, you have to be open-minded. But how do you open a person's mind up to something they're already not particularly fond of? It's simple, just show them the best parts. And that's exactly what I did. I wasn't forcing her to watch anime with me anymore, but instead, I made her want to watch anime with me. I started to watch some of the best anime scenes and fights whenever she was around, and yes, I know it was spoiler hell, but the ends justify the means. And if I didn't, I would have never been able to share this amazing and wonderful addiction with her. The weird thing is that I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, because I've done this type of thing before. When I initially started watching anime, I didn't have anyone to talk to about it with, so I tried to get one of my best friends to watch anime. I was watching Bleach at the time, so when he came over one day, I didn't show him the first episode. I jumped straight to the Ichigo and Ukiura fight, and even though he didn't show much excitement at first, he ended up binge watching the whole anime in a couple of days and rewatched Bleach 5 times throughout the following years. And remembering all this gave me a new sense of optimism that I wasn't feeling for a while. So the anime that finally forced my girlfriend to want to watch anime with me was, wait for it, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 3 Episode 43. I don't know what it was about seeing Iggy and Polnareff getting beaten up that made her interested in the show. I mean, it could have been the over-the-top style, the bulging muscles, which would have been kind of ironic and hypocritical, or the stoic dialogue. Whatever it was, we ended up watching the rest of Part 3, then moved on to Part 4 together, and it was the first show we watched from start to finish. And I know we didn't watch every part of JoJo's, but we watched Part 4 to its entirety, which was a huge win. And it was a blast. We laughed and talked, loved all the characters, and we genuinely enjoyed the show. And the best thing about it was that we started watching Part 4 of JoJo's during the early stages of the COVID-19 lockdowns. So sitting down and watching JoJo's every night became somewhat of a therapeutic experience for both of us. After finishing Part 4, I rewatched Parts 2 and 3 with her, watched some of Part 1, and now we're both planning to watch Part 5 together at some point. With that being said, JoJo's hasn't been the only show we've watched since then, but it's definitely been the most influential. JoJo's gained her appreciation, and not only that, it showed her the possibilities of having an open mind. While it was still hard trying to find shows she would like, she was more open-minded and was willing to try shows she wouldn't normally. Death Note was one of those shows, and while being a show that on paper she wouldn't like, she absolutely loved it. She went as far as to ask me if I wanted to watch episodes with her, and to top it off, she even cried at the end. And for you guys that know the ending, I honestly don't know what to think about that, but it must be good. However, after Death Note, it was hard to find an adequate replacement, so we took a break from anime. But I wanted to keep the momentum going, so you know what I proposed? A movie night. And the rules were simple. I let her pick whatever historical romance she wanted to watch, and then the following night, I would get to pick which movie I wanted to watch. So like the clever man I am, I only chose anime films. We watched films like Your Name, A Silent Voice, Wolf Children, Ponyo, and a couple other Studio Ghibli films, and she loved them all. And not only that, it exposed her to a different side of anime she's not really accustomed to. I guess the more beautiful side of anime, for lack of better words. So after our movie adventures were over, we went back to watching anime and stumbled across Dr. Stone, which I didn't think was anything special, but she genuinely enjoyed it. And this was the first time that our taste in animes clashed, and then I never watched anime with her again. Just kidding. I took it as a bittersweet moment because having a particular taste in something implies a strong inclination for it. Personally, I feel like anime is for everyone. The range anime has when it comes to feeling, tone, genre, storytelling, music, and whatever else reaches far and wide. There's a type of anime for everyone. You just have to go out and find it. That's it. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Greatly appreciate it. And if you want a chance to win the first 3 volumes of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, here's the things you have to do to qualify. First, follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description below. Second, like this video. And third, subscribe to the channel. Once you meet all the requirements, you will be instantly entered to win. I'll announce the winner in 2 weeks after the upload of this video. So if you want a new series to dig your teeth into or want some free volumes to add to your collection, make sure to enter. So once again, thank you guys for watching and have an amazingly fantastic day.